Heavyweight champion Brock Lesnar. It's great to see you. What's changed?
So I got to sit here and watch that and explain to you.
Yes, you do, my friend.
In God's name are you doing this again?
Why are you going back in the Octagon for UFC 200?
Because I couldn't live with that decision. It was like going back to that interview. It was a hard decision for me to make, and that decision has haunted me for the last 15 months. And I figured I couldn't live like that for the rest of my life. I'm a big believer in living out your dreams and facing your fears and just facing the reality of I don't want to be sitting 20 years from now saying, you know what, son, you should have went and did that. And here I am. And on the biggest stage of them all, I was on UFC 100, so why not be on UFC 200?
So whose idea was this? Who started the conversation?
This is very simple. This was me sitting having a cup of coffee at my farm in Canada and thinking I'd waking up every morning and feeling this feeling of, was that the right decision? Was that the right decision?
When did you start feeling this way? Right, immediately?
Immediately, as a matter of fact, immediately, yeah. And I didn't even tell my wife. I told nobody. This thing haunted me on the inside for a long time. But I thought, you know what, if I was in the WWE, I could still kind of have those feelings inside the ring. But the true competitor in me is still alive and well, and I have to do this.
Okay, you left. You had 2 bouts with diverticulitis. So when you left, you weren't healthy. Is this a sense of having unfinished business? Why did this haunt you so much?
It haunted me because at the top of my career, I wasn't at the top of my game. So I felt like I was cheated out of my career in the UFC. I didn't lose in my mind and in my heart. I never lost to a foe. I never lost to my opponent. I lost to the diverticulitis. That was my opponent that beat me. Other people may have other thoughts and say other things about the way I performed. My performance was due to the illness, and absolutely yes. I'm sitting here today. I feel 1,000%. I wouldn't get in the Octagon if I didn't. I'm not a second guesser. The only thing I second guessed was my decision of stepping away from the Octagon. I know it's been a long time, but I feel great. I don't have to fake it. I'm not faking and telling anybody that, you know, I'm in the greatest shape of my life or something like that. This is for real. This is for real. I'm so excited, and I'm glad with my decision.
So who's your opponent going to be on July 9th?
I think he just signed the contract as we were walking in here. I was coming in here, and he hadn't signed it yet, but I do believe that it's done and it's official. And on July 9th, UFC 200, I'll be facing Mark Hunt.
Mark Hunt. Okay, 42 years old, 8th ranked heavyweight in the UFC. Why Mark Hunt?
Why not? Well, it could be anybody. I didn't care. That's how simple it is.
You mean you didn't have any say at all in who your opponent was going to be?
There was no. I didn't. I've never turned down a fight in the UFC. I've never walked away. I'm not the guy. Even when I was a champ, I never turned down a fight. And even when I was fighting to be the champion, I never turned down a fight. If Dana White called me and said, "You have opponent X, Y, and Z. Who do you want?" He never gave me those options. This is a guy that we want you to face. I said, "Great. That's what I'm going to do."
Fine with me. Guy made his UFC debut in 2010, 7-4-1 record, won each of his last 2 fights by knockouts. His last loss came in May of 2015. How do you match up with him?
Well, I'm a grappler at heart. He's a heavy hitter, and I think that's what the people want to see. The UFC ultimately culminated because we're gonna put guys with opposing disciplines against each other. I think I match up very well. If Mark Hunt ends up on the ground, the fight's over. I've been working, obviously I need to work on my stand-up game, but I'm excited and enthusiastic of doing so. That's the difference.
Can you walk me through this as a business deal? All right, so you're sitting on your farm, you're having these thoughts, you want to go back and fight again, you want to finish that chapter of your life, then who do you call? Did you call Vince McMahon? Did you call Dana White? How did these 2 entities come together to allow you to do this?
It's very simple. Nobody called me. It wasn't nobody else's idea. Dana didn't pick up the phone because somebody we need to fill a spot.
Because Conor McGregor isn't going to be there. Ronda Rousey's not going to be there. It's obviously
like
huge. UFC 200 is huge. That was not the scenario.
No, it was not. I picked up the phone. It was me. I don't even remember. It's been 3 months ago. But it's taken some time for things to play out.
Right.
But I just said, what are the chances of having Brock Lesnar on the card at UFC 200? And we got together. You know, obviously I'm still under contract with WWE.
So what was their response to this?
Well, you just go in and sit down and have a big boy conversation with the boss, Vince McMahon, and it's simple. It's big business. It's billionaire business, and I'm big business. So why the hell wouldn't anybody want Brock Lesnar involved? So
he could have been territorial about it. I mean, does the WWE get anything in return for allowing you to do this?
I think it's very narrow-mindedness. If you know, I'm a crossover athlete. Okay, I'm the modern day Bo Jackson, people. I'm excited about it. I'm enthusiastic. I couldn't be more excited and honored and to have the opportunity that both companies have faith in Brock Lesnar to allow him to step back in the Octagon. Even Dana White or the Fertitta brothers, for me to be gone and to have the impact that I did, and for them to allow me to come back and represent this big show is a great honor for me. Why
do you think that, in the end, that White welcomed you back?
Big business. It's all. I mean, at the end of the day, I'm a prize fighter, and I don't fight. Listen, titles don't pay the bills. What pays the bill? I'm a prize fighter. I fight for money, and it's no different. They're making money. I'm making money. Everybody's making money. That's what this is all about. But more importantly, it's not about the money to me. And I've always said money's very important to me. But you can't step inside the Octagon just for the money. This is in my heart. This is from the heart, and it just so happens I'm making a boatload of money.
Well, as he says with a big smile on his face. So you told me you don't know where your trophies are, your awards are, but you know what's in your bank account. How much money are you making with this venture?
I can't disclose. I mean, there's lots of zeros behind it.
Lots of zeros. Like how many is lots?
Like whatever it takes to I can't disclose that.
Why would I want
to? I'm not here to brag about it. I mean, I'm here to state that, listen, I'm a prize fighter, and everybody's making money. And at the end of the day, this is going to be an exciting show for me. I'm honored to be a part of it, and it's humbling to sit here and to actually announce to the world. I feel like a weight has been lifted off my shoulders because I've been carrying this around. And yeah, it's for real.
Is this going to be enough? What if July 9th is a smashing success for you in the Octagon? Okay, so you say it will be. At that point, are you going to be able to walk away?
Who knows? It may just be a tease, but I don't know. I don't know that answer to that question right now. We'll cross that road when we get there, but. First and foremost, I've got a big event after this event, SummerSlam for the WWE. So I'm a busy beaver.
That's coming up in August. What can you tell me about your plans for SummerSlam?
I have no idea. I don't know. I know that I'm on the card, and I don't know who I'm facing yet. But one thing at a time.
That's all you know.
One thing at a time.
All right. So this fight, UFC 200, is in 4 weeks. How long have you been training for a return to MMA?
8 o'clock yesterday morning. I went for a swim.
Come on, that's it? No, I know. How long have you been working towards this?
I've been thinking about it for quite some time, and when I had the conversation with Dana, it was a conversation of before I was going to even jump in and see if I needed to get an answer from
is this a go or not?
Can I participate? Can I do this? And then, I started playing around with it. I started getting into shape. I said and when the people said yes, of the higher powers, then I said, listen, let me get some time, let me feel this out, and we'll kind of just go from there.
How different is that from the shape you have to be in for WWE? How much more intense?
Total different shape.
Right.
And there was nothing, I mean, Dana, he didn't even know I was serious about this. I mean, he honored the telephone call, but I just said, well, listen, I'll give you a call in some time, and we'll see if we can move this thing forward.
What is it that finally sealed the deal?
For just making sure that everybody was on the same page, and number one, my health and my well-being, and where was my mind when everything got finalized.
I need to ask you about another story that's been out there, and it's been a huge story about Ariel Helwani, covers the UFC and MMA, and said he was banned for life from the UFC for breaking the news of your return. What's your reaction to that story?
I don't even know who that is.
Okay. You have not heard about that?
I don't do Twitter. For those of you that know, I don't follow it. I don't even know.
So you're completely unaware.
I'm in the dark. I have no idea. The only thing I care about is me, and that's I don't know. I can't answer that question.
All right. Not at UFC200, as you and I have talked about, is Conor McGregor, and so you don't do Twitter. He certainly does, and he's talked repeatedly about being a bigger draw than not just you and others were back in the day. What do you see as his impact on the sport? What do you think about the kinds of things that he's been saying?
Well, once again, I don't know, but I know of Conor McGregor, and I know that anything. I mean, this sport has evolved even from the first time that I entered into the Octagon, and I think people are finding out that you have to talk, and you have to, more importantly, walk the walk. And so for guys that can talk and walk the walk, I think it's great. I think it's great for the company. I got no qualms with anybody. I mean, if somebody wants to state that they're the biggest pay-per-view draw in the world, I don't care. I've never came out and said, "Hey, listen, I hold the most pay-per-view buys." I don't. All I know is what I got paid, and I'm happy to do so. And like I said, I'm a prize fighter. I don't hang my championships on the wall because they don't pay the bills.
I want to ask you also about Muhammad Ali. A lot of people have been remarking, and everybody has a different perspective on what he meant to you as an individual. I'm wondering, did he touch your life in any way with his legacy and the things that he accomplished and did?
You know, I got to meet Ali one time, and all I remember when I met and shook the man's hand was, he never talked. I mean, at the point, Parkinson's or whatever, the illness had taken over, but I just remember when he extended his hand, and he didn't have to say anything to me. It was a weird, not a weird vibe. It was such a gracious handshake, and it was very. I can't even put a word to it. So
you felt something.
I felt something powerful from the man, and that's the only. I've watched pretty much all of his fights, but
you did.
I met the man one time and never got to. He never spoke a word to me, but I felt the presence and power from him. So it was impactful. I mean, as far as I think one of the greatest. I mean, here's a guy that's a boxer. Who is selling tickets, talking the talk, and getting in the ring and walking the walk. And he set the stage for. I mean, it's business. It's big business. You got to be flashy on the outside and flashy on the inside. So I think it's a tragedy. And my heart goes out to the family to live with Parkinson's for X number. How many years?
Very difficult.
Very difficult, and that's just a battle in itself. Forget how great of a champion he was. The man had to live with Parkinson's for how many years? That's a feat in its own.
And at the end of the day, and I know you want to go back into the Octagon and do, just finish that off somehow. Whether you said it'll be in UFC200 or it'll go beyond that, and you don't know. Your success in the WWE, your success in college. What do you hope that your legacy is?
Somewhere along the line, I think maybe somewhere down the line, if I shake a young man's hand and have the same impact that Muhammad Ali had on me, I think that, words can't describe. I can't sit here and talk about legacy. I don't even know what that is. My legacy is whatever people want it to be. All I know is I have to get up every day and look at myself in the mirror, be the man that I need to be for myself, my family, and God, and that's it. You know, legacies are I think people that live on legacy are very shallow in the soul. I'm not. I'm always moving forward, you know, so that's where I'm at with my life.
Got a lot to look forward to this summer. You're busy, so I'll let you go.
Thank you.
You got stuff to do. Brock Lesnar, congratulations.
Thank you.
On everything, and it's great to have you back on SportsCenter. Look forward to talking to you again soon. Thanks.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
To that role, Brock. Some other time, some other day here at SportsCenter. Brock Lesnar here with us. He's not an ESPN security guard anymore. He's getting back into the Octagon. That coming down on Saturday night. Let's go back 5 years. You decided to walk away from UFC in 2011. You'd lost a couple fights. What was your mentality at that point, Brock, about ever fighting again?
Well, I didn't decide to walk away. I mean, it was more for my health reasons to leave the Octagon. I knew that diverticulitis, the illness that I had overcome, and it was time for me to. I jumped back in the Octagon way too soon. You know, 6 months after my surgery. I mean, I had 12 inches of my colon removed. Yada yada yada. Here we are. I'm getting back in the cage. UFC200. that's what it's all about. What? I feel good now, so that's, you know. But going back then, I believe that the illness removed me from the Octagon. I believe so. But
you wound up staying away for 5 years, and in fact, you retired on a SportsCenter 15 months ago. So what was it that finally made you say, I'm going to do it again?
Well, just the haunting fact that I didn't really want it to be over, you know. And so here we are, and I'm taking the leap and going to get back in, so that 20 years from now I can say I did it, you know, and say, well, what if I would have just did it? You know what I mean? So. Yeah, and to get back in there and to prove to myself, more importantly, that I can. So that's why.
You used the phrase "taking the leap" when you announced on Saturday night. What was that feeling like? Because there's no turning back at that point.
Exhilarating.
Really?
Yeah, like a weight had been lifted off my shoulders. Like very excited. You know, I don't have to sit here and fake to anybody how excited I am. I think, you know. I feel it. And when you feel something, I'm excited. I'm thankful. I'm thankful that the UFC is allowing me back into the Octagon. I'm thankful that the WWE is allowing me to do this. It's exhilarating for me. Very exhilarating.
Curious how the conversation went with Vince McMahon. When obviously you're under contract with WWE, you went to him. What was the give and take about you doing UFC as well?
I said, listen, old man, we can do this the hard way or the easy way. And I said, do you want to arm wrestle for it? And he's like, yeah, what the hell? So I ended up beating him, and here we are.
That's it. That's all you got to do.
Yeah. Yep.
No, did he have any hesitation at all about letting you do this?
None. No. I mean, you know, and why would you? I mean, why? I believe that in the WWE brand, I'm a legit athlete in that brand, and I bring lots to the company, and for me to get back in the Octagon legitimizes why the WWE has me in their company. It's a win-win for all of us. It's a win for me, and it's a win for the WWE, and it's a win for the UFC. What
was the number that you had to hear from Dana White to get you back in the Octagon? Give me the number.
It's just lots of money. I mean, I'm a prize fighter. Unlike, you know, some other fighters that all they ever want is to be the champion. I've been the champion. I've climbed that ladder. I've climbed that mountain. I got to the top of that mountain. At this stage in my career, and back then, you don't get in the cage for nothing, you know. Right. And so, but absolutely. You have to be, you know. It's a lot of money. I mean, I can't. I'm not going to relay how much money I'm making on it. I wouldn't do that to either one of the companies. But
it always comes out in the end, though.
In the end,
you always find out.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to believe those numbers, you can. So
are they inflated or deflated? Which way are we going here?
Inflated.
Oh,
yeah,
really?
Way over the top.
Oh, okay.
So.
You announced today that the opponent, you sort of did this in stages. The opponent is going to be Mark Hunt.
Yes.
8th ranked heavyweight in the world, 42 years old. You're going to be the younger guy in the Octagon in July. What did you think? What did you think of that selection when you heard it?
Well, I really, at this point, in the game of fighting, I mean, age is not a factor, I don't believe. I really don't. I mean, you got a guy like Dan Henderson just Saturday night going in. He's 46 years old and fighting like he's, a young man. I feel great. I'm excited for this fight. It's a tough challenge ahead of me. I believe Mark has a tough challenge ahead of him. He's never faced an opponent such as myself. And I'm looking forward to this bout. I'm looking forward to it. He's a heavy-hitting, hard-headed human being, and hopefully my athleticism and my Octagon awareness and all those things and my wrestling background can play a key factor in me winning this fight.
It's been 5 years. That's a long time to be out of the Octagon. What concerns do you have? I mean, there's got to be some thoughts in the back of your head that, how is this going to go? What are your concerns?
I don't really have any concerns. I mean, hopefully we get the rust out in training camp, and I think we are. We will. And if not, the first punch from Mark will knock the rest of the rust off in the first 10 seconds, maybe, and then look out.
How much fighting do you do in training camp?
Well, you have to be able to train for what the job that you're doing, and it's a necessity. I mean, we don't do it a lot because the guys that bang every single day, I want to get in the cage and fight. I don't want to fight in practice.
Right.
I want to simulate fighting in practice so that I can get in the cage and fight for my prize. So not as much as you would think.
Before during the commercial break, we're talking, and you were telling me about your farm in Saskatchewan, a grain farm, and it sounds beautiful up there, and it sounds peaceful and all that. And here you are getting back into what is this a one-off? Is this, Brock, I'm going to do this one more time, get this out of my system? Do you have a plan here? I
don't. I've never had a plan really, other than it's just kind of. Things happen. Life is. I really believe that life is about timing. The timing feels right on this. Somehow I always land on my feet. I'm very blessed. I feel very fortunate. Yes, I'll be fighting out of Regina, Saskatchewan. I'm a Canadian resident, and I love my farm. And yeah, you can take the boy out of the country, but you can't take the country out of the boy, and that's who I've always been. And yeah, I'm a farmer. I'm happy to say it.
He's definitely got at least one more UFC fight coming up July, UFC 200. Brock, we wish you the best of luck. Thanks for joining us. Great talking to you.
Thank you.
Kerry, back to you.